We'd like to start out by thanking our valuable sponsors. Sense of Satisfaction by Cricket is the place for all your fragrance needs. Plus, she's got products to heal what ails your skin and your hair. Shop at scentsbycricket.com. Special thanks to our valued sponsor, John Travis, a financial coach and certified Kingdom advisor with Richard Young Associates, a registered investment advisor. Thanks goes to Anna Patterson, my sister in the Lord who faithfully gives to this ministry every month. And to our newest sponsor, LaToya Gerard of Preach the Word Worldwide Network. She is a valued sponsor and a major encourager regarding this ministry. We need and would love to have you as a sponsor. Absolutely no gift is too small. Please note the info regarding giving throughout and at the end of the show, and help us spread these testimonies around the world. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the viewpoints of our sponsors. It's time to hear the story, make the connection, learn the lesson, and gain the wisdom. Are you ready? Let's get charged and be changed. The Sister Speak Brother Break Show. Conversations on grace, healing, and deliverance. This is Marcy Bush. Come on, let's journey together.
It's like, because it was to the point like, do you want to live?
Yeah, we literally asked him that. We like the four of us, and I think you might even be in there. We talked with him and we asked him like, Daddy, do you want to fight? Because we don't want to fight and you don't want to fight. We don't want to put more effort into this than you do.
Right.
So it was that kind of frustration that we had gotten to.
Right. And it's not ugly. It's just like,
yeah.
Because you didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, like you said, pour into.
Right.
Where sometimes the pour into was just coming right back out. It wasn't like being poured into and holding on to it and moving forward. Yeah. And so, and God's timing.
And it was difficult, and I'll say this was difficult for me too, because I hated that I was in that position. I felt like I was...
Where you had to be the adult.
Right. I felt like I was being the adult in this situation where it should be the other way around. And I hated that we were in this situation.
Right.
You know, you should be the one that I come to for things. Right. But it's not the case. And I hated that it was like that. So, and that's another feeling I'm glad I don't have anymore. Yes. But it's just like I said, it's not bittersweet, but it's that duality, that the sadness and the relief at the same time.
Right.
So
And I think that's a message even for parents who like don't, of course, there comes a time, a lot of times if it is at the level where they need help, you know, you're going to help your parents, most people, but don't make it where your children have to like take on the responsibility when they shouldn't have to.
Right.
When it feels like a matter of choices, choices. If it's inevitable, if it's unfixable, okay. But when there's a choice, and then just because it is draining and it does do something to children to have to switch roles with their parents. And now I'm the one who's telling you what you should be doing.
Right.
So, but I commend you for even how you handled that, how you navigated. And I encourage you, if you need to, because I don't know if you did much grieving there either. I know you had just moved into your house. Your dad was able to come see your house.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. And so even if you need at this point or moving forward to sit down for a couple of, and so it doesn't always take a therapist.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a friend. Sometimes a loved one where you like, let me get this off my chest. Even if you don't know, sometimes I believe us talking today was a release. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I encourage you, anytime you feel that need for a release, do it.
And believe it or not, I think because of where I was at, or where our family dynamic was at the time when Mama passed away, I didn't have the time to grieve. And when Daddy passed away, it affected me more than I thought it would. I was actually depressed and didn't even know it. Because he passed away, and just weeks it went by. It was coming up to Christmas. I wasn't feeling in any kind of Christmas spirit. And I was just kind of going just through the days, however, and not thinking anything. And then Kia, this is just, you know, my wife knowing me, she was like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. And she was like, I haven't seen you smile in weeks. And I didn't even notice that.
Right.
And I kind of took a step back, and I was just like, you know what? I was like, I didn't feel like myself. I felt like a shell of myself. That was the first time I had ever experienced that.
Okay.
I never felt like that before, so I didn't know what it was.
Right.
You know, I was just going about my day. I didn't know what it was, and that's what it really like. Man, I'm depressed, and I never would have thought that would have came from the passing of my dad. You know what I'm saying? But that's really what affected and triggered it.
Yeah.
So. And, you know, I dealt with it, and I ended up coming out of it, you know, thankfully, you know.
Do you know how? Do you know what you did that helped you make that turn?
What I always do, just sit in it. And when I say sit in it, I sit in it, and I talk to myself, and then I just always find my joy back from family. You know, just through my kids and through my wife, and then through my extended family. The holidays came around, and then I think just being around family always picks me back up.
Okay.
And I really can't even explain. I just kind of came out of it. And it was probably a period of like 2 or 3 weeks maybe. And I just kind of came out of it. And I will say this too, you know, it was talking, you know, me and Kia having conversations and just talking, you know, I'll attribute a lot of that to her, because she is somebody who hears, you know, if a lot of what I have going on. So, just her support, and then just, you know, like I said, just being around family, just kind of bringing me out of it. That's really the only thing I can attest it to, because I really can't explain it. So.
Right. It's one of our awkward things. It's funny, not funny, but as you were talking, for some reason, when you're like, family just helped bring me out of it. I don't know why I saw Sophia sitting at that table in color purple, where she was like, she had just been nothing but a shell. And then all of a sudden, being back around the people where her life had been, it's like all of a sudden, pastor, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I guess, even what a lot of times a repast does. Right. For families, you know. You get to talking to people, you get to, and it just kind of gets your life moving again. I'm glad that we were able to sit here. It's kind of hard to even know where to end. We've kind of like walked up through your life up until this point. And I do want you to know how proud I am of you, and the ways you've navigated your journey. Everybody's journey is different. Had several major unexpected things, but you know, the show is always about grace, healing, and deliverance, and I know that God has graced you through those moments. To what, if you had to attribute the way that you're able to navigate, what would you attribute it to?
My mom. That she kind of she built me for this, you know. Just I mean, from the times that she was hard on me, or even the times where she made me do things that I didn't want to do, and then like just instilling in me service and being there for people, and just looking out for one another. She's really the person that really molded me into who I am. Excuse me. And in some ways my dad too, but more so was my mom, just because she was very adamant about molding me into just a good young man, and just making sure I did the right thing, and didn't always do the right thing, but that's where I can attribute all of that coming from, and just being somebody who is just comfortable. You know, like I said, it wasn't until college, but I got comfortable in my own skin. I got confident about who I am as a person.
Right.
And just from there, it's just everything that she put and fed into me. That's really what made me who I am today.
Well, I know that she is cheering from heaven. You know, when they talk about that great cloud of witnesses, you know, I believe that she is seeing and applauding. And even though I know maybe your dad wasn't able to express, I'm sure to some degree maybe he did, but a lot of times because we are among each other, we don't know how to just stop, especially the older generations, and just give you that you know, give you the kudos you deserve. But I believe both of them are extremely pleased.
Yeah. And like I said, it's hard to hear, to accept that, you know, because I mean, prayerfully my journey isn't over. You know, I'm only 38. 38. I used to think 38 was old. Now that I'm 38, 38 is not over at all.
Exactly.
And I you know, feel like I still have a long ways to go, because I you know, I know there's some things about myself that I need to, you know, change, you know, need to go to church more, need to, you know, read the Bible more. And I know what, you know, what you're rooted in, and what your show is rooted in. And I know for me, I've never lost sight of where my faith is, and just what I believe. You know, I may not be present at church. I may not, you know, be out, you know, reciting Bible verses or whatever, anything like that. But I definitely know where my strength really comes from. You know, it does come from my mom, but it comes from God as well.
Right.
And that is something that we do in my household. I say, we don't do anything else. We definitely pray. And just pray for guidance, and just pray for, you know, I pray for everything, and I pray for everybody.
Right.
You know, so I don't, like I said, by no means am I the religious person that I should be, but I definitely have not forgotten that. And that definitely is what's been instilled in me since I was little.
Right.
And I haven't forgotten it. And, you know, I'm still a work in progress. So I'm going to get there eventually.
So when you were talking about, like, you know, and I think a couple of times you've said, you know, I'm not a religious person and one of the things that I have learned is that it is like religion. Anybody can have a religion, you know what I'm saying? But it is that relationship. And I guess then that one thing of, like, yes, knowing God for yourself, and then further, it's almost like just educating. Anything you want to know more about, you engage with. And so, like you said, at home, because when it comes to Bible, I know we know Bible, right, because we were raised in the church. Yeah. But then actually living it out. And then I do just encourage you. The reason I encourage you to go is to hear more revelation, to see how to not just know about the Bible characters, but as you've navigated your life. What I do know is that there are things that you have used, that you have learned, although you may not be able to point right back to it, what's in you. And I guess for me is that your boys are able to get that same thing that you got, where you know where your help comes from. Right. And I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, and I think that's one of my biggest prayers, I guess, is for your generation to
bring, and not even in the church you grew up in, if that's not, because I feel like you have to find where you fit. You have to find what speaks to you, because you can sit in it till the day you pass and never miss a Sunday and still not better off if it has not fed you. And so finding where you fit, but being able to have that foundation for your boys to know, like, when I can't get to mama and when I can't get to daddy, this is where I go. And then to be able to take those principles and apply them.
I want to say this too. I do know that, going to church is vital, but in the absence of that, I do have conversations with them, more so KJ, because he can comprehend it a little better. But I do talk with them about God. And like, especially younger, KJ used to have all these questions about God, and I would talk to him and answer his questions. So I make sure they do know where their help comes from and where their faith is in and what we believe. And I'm hoping that they come to believe in the same things, and they do need that that foundation. And so even Carter, sometimes, like Carter, like I said, we genuinely do pray every day before we leave the house every morning. Carter is the one that if we get so busy and we're about to go out the door, he'll be like, wait, no, we didn't pray yet. We didn't pray. So he's the one who keeps us on track in that essence. But yeah, I do know that they are missing out on that foundation. And that's just somewhere where I'm, as a parent, I have to get back to that point, and I don't want to just send them. I want to take them, but I need to get myself back to that point. And like I said earlier, I'm not perfect. I'm working on it. It's a flaw I know I have, and it's something I'm working on.
But I believe it was really important for me, and I don't think the thought didn't even come into my mind until maybe this morning. And it wasn't even, I don't even know what made it come up, but just thinking, like, I want the people in our audience to know, like, of course, I've had preachers that sit across, I've had people with testimonies of being literally coming back from the dead. I've had people who have been through multiple surgeries but I also want them to know there are people with testimonies walking every day. Everybody we pass has a story, has a journey. Not everybody knows how to say, but God kept me. But I know that, I don't feel like it diminishes your testimony at all, or I wouldn't ask you to be here. I know that God in your life, because what your mama really instilled, really put in, was that relationship with God. And she knew, I feel like one of the reasons she had liberty to leave was because she knew what she'd placed in all of y'all. And that she knew there was a root there. There was a root there, and it didn't matter if branches were pruned, it didn't matter if storms came or whatever, because that root was there. I know she knew y'all would be okay. So just thank you for sharing. There are a few at the core questions that I want to ask you, and something you said a little while ago kind of takes us there when you were talking about age and believing you have more life. If you didn't know how old you were, how old would you be?
I'd say I'd probably be in my early 30s. Not too far from where I am now, because I still feel good. I can still get around well, like I said, I do my best to take care of my body and everything, and just mentally and maturity wise, I'd probably say like my early 30s.
Okay, Chad, that's how old I'd be too.
Hey, because I definitely couldn't be in my 20s, because I can't be out in the streets. I ain't built for that no more. I'm not built for it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I think I'd be in my 30s too. If I could be in my 30s with this wisdom, that would be good. If you could instill one piece of advice into a newborn baby's mind, what advice would you give?
That's a good question. I guess I'd say patience. Have patience. I think along with patience, that will give you the ability to be able to pretty much deal with anything in life. You know, if you can just have patience, you know, the things that aren't working out that you want to work out, it'll come.
That's good.
It's not always going to be right away, but it'll come eventually. That'll give you patience with people, you know. It's just, I think whenever you're able to just take a step back and think about things and just have some type of patience and knowing that everything will work out good in the end, I think you're able to work through pretty much anything.
I like that. Do you feel like there are any personal prisons that you have built out of fears?
Honestly, no.
That's good.
And that's because, like I said, I genuinely try to live life to the fullest. And that doesn't mean I'm out here just doing, you know, anything, any and everything. But no, I don't feel like I have any personal prisons or anything. I'm an open book, you know, and my journey is my journey. And I want, and anybody that I know that I sit and have a conversation with, any advice or anything that I can give somebody from my life, you know, I want to share it because it might help somebody, you know, because I like sitting and having conversations with people, and you know, anything that I can do to help somebody, or maybe I can get something from someone else. But I don't feel like I've built any prisons that have hindered me at all. So
good. And what do you imagine your life will be like 10 years from now?
Ooh, 10 years from now? Let's see.
Let's make it 12. You said you're 38.
You want to say 12? I'll be 50. I'm gonna be contemplating retirement because I'll be eligible to retire from my job because I'm not gonna do it always. And just thinking about what my next step is gonna be. But I want to be in a place where my boys will be older, and just seeing them as young men and navigating through life. I'm not trying to make the time go by fast, but I definitely want to see that.
Yes.
And just being able to, you know, me and Kia love to travel, so just being in a space where we can just, you know, we're still on the go, still traveling, still enjoying life. And at 50, I mean, I'm still young, so I'm still gonna be out here, you know, doing what I can to just live each day. Just experience the most out of each day that I can.
That's good. That's good. Is there anything that you would like to say, or I'll put it this way. So let me ask that. So is there anything that you haven't hit on that you would like to release as a word of wisdom or whatever?
No, I don't think so. I think we pretty much hit. I'm a pretty simple guy when it gets down to it. So I think we kind of hit on pretty much the highlights that have kind of made me who I am and kind of created the philosophies that I live by. But no, I think that's pretty much about it.
One wisdom nugget. If there was only one piece of advice or wisdom that people could take away from this conversation.
Just keep pressing on. You know, we all have our own journeys, and we all have our own stories that we live, and just know that whatever you're going through is not the end. It's not the end. Whatever you're going through, you can see the other side of it. Like I said, my journey I know people have gone through worse things that I've gone through. So just continue to just persevere through whatever storm you're going through. You're going to make it on the other end. Whether it's going to be, God is definitely going to get you through it. It could be family, no matter who it is.
So how you talking to me?
just no matter who it is, or, you know, whatever the storm is, you're going to get through the other side, and rely. And for me, the thing that I've learned is to rely on the people around you, because they're the ones that are going to uplift you. They're going to keep you up, and they're going to help you plow through that storm when you feel like all hope is gone.
Right.
So
that, I definitely did not expect that. What in the world? But yeah, I do. I want to, and that's why I love you. Like, it's just you. It's just you. And I think people can take you, not being pretentious, not being whatever, but just being you, giving it the way you give it. And your word means a lot. So I appreciate you sharing with us today. I know it's been a mega conversation, but so many good things in it, and I appreciate you for sharing, for being vulnerable and transparent. I know that okay, and I'd like to thank you for joining us for however many episodes this just was of the Sister Speak Brother Break show. Kevin's journey has so many twists and turns and points that I know other people can relate to. And I want you to share it, like I always say, not for views but for life changes. Share, because someone needs to hear what this young man had to say, because I know it'll make their lives better. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again, same place, same time next week for the Sister Speak Brother Break show. Be blessed.
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you've been blessed by today's show, feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to sow into this ministry, become a sponsor, or contact us, you can reach us at 803-221-0169. Or you can email us at the ssbbshow@gmail.com. Let's continue this journey together. We need and would love to have you as a sponsor. Absolutely no gift is too small. Please note the info regarding giving and help us spread these testimonies around the world.